Now, our special guest is one of Britain's best-loved sporting heroes and one of the biggest names in world diving. He's won medals at every level, including gold at the World Championships and bronze at the London and Rio Olympics. Please welcome Tom Daley. What an honour, Tom. How are you?
Good to meet you too.
So, apart from the diving, you've quite a keen interest in cooking.
I mean, I've always had an interest in, well, in food, really, mainly because if I'm not diving or sleeping, I'm eating.
You're eating.
Yeah, exactly.
Good way to be.
Yeah.
So we have a few nice dishes lined up for you, but we also have your food heaven and hell to contend with.
We do.
So you have to tell me a little bit about your food heaven.
Well, my food heaven is beef Wellington, and I feel like it's really hard to find a good beef Wellington in London. And it was actually the first time that my fiance came over to London, or one of the first times. We were searching everywhere for a beef Wellington because I was like, it's my favourite thing, and we were trying to find it. And we went to Bob Rickard and had this most amazing beef Wellington, and ever since, it's like my food heaven.
This is what you need to go for.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, you've given me an easy option for your food heaven, and tell me about your food hell.
Food hell is like a whole fish with bones in it and everything. I find it really fiddly, and I'm not a massissive fan of fishy fish.
Really? All the diving, you know?
I know, you think of like a fish out of water, but no, I'm just not really a fan of it.
Okay. Well, we've kind of come up with a few dishes to match these. So for your food heaven, I'm going to make a version of my beef Wellington. First, I'll make a filling using porcini and chestnut mushrooms, thyme, brandy and cream. Then I'll sear some beef fillet steaks, brush them with mustard, then wrap them in a puff pastry and bake them in the oven. So
sounds great.
It's going to be delicious. And remember, if you get your food hell, it will be whole fish, okay? So I'm going to make a beautiful whole trout in parchment paper with mix of olive oil, fennel, onion, tomato, lemon, dill, capers, and another one of your food hells, celery. I'll seal the whole lot in a paper parchment pouch, pour in a glug of white wine, bake it in the oven, and serve with green beans and steamed potatoes. But you will have to wait until the end of the show to find out which one you're going to get. Now, if you'd like a chance to ask any of us a question today, then call 033 0123 1410. That's 033 0123 1410. And if I speak to you, I'll also ask you if Tom should face his food heaven or his food hell. And of course, get in touch through social media too, using Saturday Kitchen's hashtag. Right, it is on with the cooking. Ching, what are we doing? Do it, Tom. What's going on?
So, wok on, basically.
Wok on, fantastic.
And we're going to make General Tso's chicken.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a classic sort of American Chinese dish, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Classic American Chinese. It's the most popular takeout dish in America.
Okay.
And it's awfully unhealthy.
Right.
So since we have Tom in the house, I thought we'd make it really healthy, so you can enjoy some good
I've noticed
Chinese food.
On Twitter you've been very excited about Tom arriving on the show.
I'm awfully excited. I don't know why I'm wielding this knife as I look into it. Okay.
This is going to be an interesting show already, I can tell.
I'm a married woman too.
And you're nearly married too, Tom. I think we're all off the market here, so unfortunately this isn't going to turn into blind date. So tell me about this sauce in this, because normally, like, I've seen this in America, and it's really quite an unhealthy kind of buffet Chinese dish. But your version is a much more kind of modernised, kind of healthy version.
Yes. So this dish actually, it's really deep fried, oily, greasy. On average, it's going to be about 3,500 calories just for a serving of it.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, it give you a heart attack.
Okay, so one for the diving training.
Is it like an orange chicken that you get when you're out there?
It is exactly orange chicken.
Oh my goodness, that's like my favourite thing.
Oh!
But I'm just learning that it's 3,500 calories. It's just giving me a heart attack.
You'll burn it off.
No.
You'll burn it off.
You'll be fine.
You can hire me as your private chef any day.
Okay, good. Right, I'll hold you to that.
This is all getting very interesting. So, Ching, what?
Saturday morning.
Ching, is there as many calories in this dish then?
So no, not as much. And now I did get my nutritionist to calculate this recipe for me.
I like the
so
fact that you have a nutritionist.
Yes.
Just hanging on the side.
Well, no, I mean, she helps to calculate all the nutritional values.
Okay.
And she's wonderful. And this per serving, it comes under 600 calories.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And about 32 grams of protein.
There you go.
So,
Wow, that's
there you
great.
go.
There are
the book.
Yeah.
And there are some carbs in this dish, but you know, you can do without the carbs. You can have it as it is. You can have it with brown rice. We're going to do noodles.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be good.
And there's a lot of history to this dish because I've seen a documentary on finding the origins of General Chow's chicken. So tell me a little bit about the background of this. And I think I have terribly pronounced it. Is it So or Chow?
General So.
General So.
In
Okay.
English.
In English.
But Zhou
Dou?
in Chinese,
Okay,
in
fine.
Mandarin. I just got that right.
Very
Sorry
good,
for
very
any
good.
Mandarin viewers.
Okay.
You know, yes. Do you want story A or story B? Do you want the, you know, what story would you like? A or B? Just pick.
Right.
Because there's two versions of the story.
Why isn't it
Okay.
okay.
Hey, that was hard, wasn't it?
It was a big choice today.
I'm just going to give you the one story anyway.
Okay.
So it's basically, it was invented by a Hunan chef, and he was the chef to Chiang Kai-shek. And he fled with the National Party to Taiwan, and basically, you know, then went on to New York, opened a restaurant in the 1970s, and made this dish up in his restaurant. Now, it was, you know, Hunan region in China is hot, it's spicy, it's sour, it's,
And
you
is
know,
that
in your face in
That's
terms
because
of
it's a
flavour.
colder climate there.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And, you know, people love heat. Now, when he first made it, it was too spicy.
Right.
And
For American taste.
For the American taste. And then
Okay.
he had to add a little sugar and sweeten. And Americans love fried food, so that went in. And the only vegetables that, you know, was available was broccoli. So, you know, it's really a broccoli fried, orangey, saucy kind of dish.
It doesn't roll off the tongue as easy,
It
does it?
doesn't. It doesn't. And so, you know, many people since then have gone back to China and gone to Hunan and said, you know, where is this dish?
Okay.
And it's not even available in Hunan.
Okay,
so
fair
it's
enough.
known as a Hunanese dish.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm really bad at storytelling.
So talk me through. Sorry, continue.
Okay, so what we're going to do, I basically season chicken thighs,
Yep.
use free-range organic, very nice, juicy, season it with salt,
Yep.
some ground white pepper to give it flavour, and then some potato starch or corn flour over the top. Then that's going to help keep the chicken nice and juicy and succulent.
Okay.
Traditionally, this dish is fried, you know, velveting. Yes, you can do that with the egg white and the corn flour, but then
Lovely.
you have to shallow fry it. So
You're
this is-
reducing the amount of frying and the
I
oil
am
going on here.
reducing the amount of oil. If you
Okay.
notice, I only added 1 tablespoon of oil.
Yeah.
And I'm just constantly stirring. And this is what my grandmother would call a lazy stir fry.
Right.
So basically, you know, we don't have the luxury of cooking in a huge wok with 600-degree burner, and where the chefs are cooking every single element of the dish perfectly.
Right.
What we're doing is it's a one-wok dish, a one-wok wonder. So you need to make sure the ingredients have their time.
Okay.
So aromatics in hot oil, and then, you know, the chicken or the protein,
Yeah.
make sure that's cooked. And you've beautifully, you know, done my vegetables, so not broccoli, but we're going with the red pepper. So that goes in, and then this gorgeous sauce.
Yes.
Pre-made stir-fry sauce. You don't need to buy it from the packet. You know, combination of tomato puree, dark soy sauce,
Lovely.
Rice vinegar for that tartness, the saltiness, the
Beautiful.
umami, the little bit of sugar went in there.
And that's the core of your recipe. Someone on Twitter has been
Yeah.
asking, what oil do you use when you're cooking Chinese food
So
like
with
this?
Chinese food, you can use, you know, I used rapeseed oil there.
Right.
You can use groundnut or peanut oil. That would work really well. You know, if you have a nut allergy, then use rapeseed oil or vegetable oil,
Right.
sunflower oil.
Okay.
So, but just a little bit, not too much,
No,
because that's
okay.
where the fat content is.
Gotcha.
So in
So
with
we're
the
about
spring
halfway
onion.
now, Ching.
Oh, fantastic.
Lovely.
So that's almost done. So you can just keep stirring for me gently.
Okay.
The chicken should be cooked before you add the veggies and then before you add the seasoning.
And I'm amazed
that's a general rule.
you've got great tech, because I mean, I often think, you know, you need to fry off the chicken really hard and make sure you get that texture, but actually you've got lovely coating on this with the corn flour.
Thank you, thank you. And I forgot some Shaoxing wine. Sorry,
Shaoxing
guys.
wine, there
that
you go.
goes in with the chicken to help kind of deglaze it.
Lovely, and it actually,
Okay.
that smell, you've got that kind of balance of flavour as well, this sort of acidity going in there as well.
Yes, important.
So you're making some noodles alongside this dish, right?
I am. So you can have this with brown rice.
Yeah.
You can have it with white rice.
Okay.
But I love these noodles, you know, and it's so easy to do. If you make this dish,
Yeah.
you can obviously put it on a tray, put it in the oven, keep it warm.
Yeah.
And
Good
that would
make-aheads.
be beautiful.
Okay.
Exactly. And then, because some people only have one wok or they just have a pan.
Right.
You can do it in a pan.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be as pleasurable. So,
Now, Ching, I have to talk to you
Shiitake
about
mushrooms.
you're starting a YouTube channel.
Oh my God, yes. I'm following.
very
I'm
exciting.
inspired by you.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it's hard work, isn't it? You have to create all the content, upload it every week.
It is. You know, the thing is, I'm really bad. I'm always late to the party.
Right,
basically.
right.
I'm not as young as you both. So don't worry, Mark. You're going to come on my channel.
Well, I know, Tom, you're an avid YouTuber as well.
Yes, I am. I've been doing YouTube for a few years now. So fitness routines, like healthy fitness tips, food, vlogging, the lot.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, and so Ching, what is your focus going to be on your channel?
So on my channel, there'll be lots of cooking, lots of walking,
Right.
excuse the pun. Yes, I've been working with my husband on a YouTube series sponsored by a company, and it's wonderful to be able to do something different.
Okay, and will it be inspired by the recipes in your new healthy eating wok cooking?
Well, there's going to be a little bit of everything. Because
Okay.
to be honest, you know, the world doesn't quite work like that.
Okay.
You know, I love healthy, I love all of that, and there'll be some naughty bits as well.
Oh, good. That's what I like to hear. Fantastic. Now, if you'd like to ask us a question, then give us a ring now on 0330 123 1410. That's 0330 123 1410, and calls are charged at your standard network rate. Right, it is time to serve this up, Ching. So we'll plate this up.
I'm just
spring
going to
onions
toss
to go
the noodles. Yes.
in there as well. So you've got egg noodles
Yes.
here. You've got, talk me through the flavours and the ingredients.
Basically, 1 tablespoon of oil in with shiitake mushrooms,
Yeah.
some Chinese garlic chives, cooked egg noodles, and then spring onions, and the seasoning, Shaoxing wine, some oyster sauce, a tablespoon, and just a tablespoon of soy sauce. So very little salt as well.
Okay.
So,
And you'd serve both of those together
yes,
then?
exactly.
Lovely.
Right.
And you've got some peanuts in
So-
there, which is quite interesting.
Yes.
Because that's not the traditional way of doing it, is it?
Well, you know, you can vary this recipe, and it's
Okay.
not traditional.
No,
but
okay.
I love peanuts.
You can't go wrong with a few peanuts in there.
Yes, I can't. And I love a good buffet sort of dish.
This is
So this
absolutely
is-
epic. This looks like the Saturday
Sorry,
night
I'm just-
takeaway that I'm dreaming of. And tell me, you've just moved recently to LA as well. You spent some time out there.
Yes, I love it in LA. You know, it's sunny, it's hot, the people are friendly. You know, we'll see how it goes. But
Okay.
I travel where there's work.
Right, so they're fans of Chinese cookery out there as well.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
huge fans.
Lovely.
Okay,
So this
so
is an
there you go.
absolute beautiful platter of
Yes.
wonderful food, and you can imagine
Perfect.
diving into it. Talk me through our finished
Sorry,
dish.
there
What
you
have we
go.
got here?
Okay, so,
Beautiful.
right,
Wow.
thank you. So
That's
we've
epic.
got basically General Tso's chicken, and you're going to have to make this dish because they don't have this in the Chinese restaurants here.
There you go.
it's
Fantastic.
easy.
Well, it looks beautiful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
I think we're all a little bit excited about this because this
We are
is
ready.
an absolute
We are
feast.
ready.
Oh, we've got chopsticks and all.
Yay!
Fantastic.
That's the way to do it.
Will I just put this in front of Tom? Or,
It's going to be gone in like 30 seconds, so you watch. Right.
Mark, dig in. We have to
Right.
try this. It's actually now putting everyone's chopstick skills to the test.
Yes, there's enough for a doggy bag.
Oh, good.
If it's
Like,
any
so
good.
delicious.
That is so good.
Like, because whenever I go to the States and get orange chicken or General Tso's chicken, I always like, why is it not in the UK? Like, why has somebody not decided to do it in the
I know.
UK?
And actually, there's a lovely hit of the white pepper in there. It just brings it alive.
So
Brilliant.
delicious.
Yes?
Really nice. And not fried, so it's a little bit healthier.
Yes, you can
Kinda got it.
indulge.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a
Exactly.
bit
So,
more.
well, Ching's Chicken needs a wine match. So, Ollie Smith went to Bury St Edmunds to pick out one, not before he had a quick look around. Cheers to Ollie.
Cheers.
Good
Thank
wine
you, Ollie.
choice.
Amazing.
Yeah? Have you
I
tasted
love the
what you think?
peachiness.
Yeah. It actually works really well with that chicken because there's a bit of bite in there, the spice.
But it's really quite creamy as well. And because there is a little bit of heat at the back,
Yeah.
it just sort of mellows that all out. Yeah, it's
And I
awesome.
know you're not a wine drinker,
Because
Tom, but
I never drink wine, and I don't really drink, so just that sip is probably going to send me off the back of the chair.
it'll make our interview very interesting.
We'll catch you.
Okay, good.
And Ching, we've had someone asking. I'm going to have to calm you down, Ching. We need a bottle of water for Ching. Someone's been asking on Twitter about replacing corn flour in the chicken with arrowroot flour. Could you do
Yes,
that?
yes, absolutely. You know,
Okay.
it's a good starch,
Right.
just to protect the juices. Not too much, and only a little light dusting at the end.
Okay,
Yeah, otherwise
okay.
it'll stick.
There you go. Good tip. Good tip. Mark, you're going to be cooking for us next. So what have we got on the menu?
So I'm doing a brown sugar baked cheesecake with some pear sorbet, caramelised pears and tomato caramel.
Okay. You've
So-
stunned Tom into silence.
Yeah.
I love it. I love cheesecake so much, so I can't wait.
Okay. Well, we are in for a treat. So there's still time for you to ask us a question.
I want to go next time. time.
Thanks, Rick. He is back next week with another adventure in the Far East. Now, Rick was sampling the Cambodian national dish using whitefish as an alternative to catfish. And I'm going to continue the theme with another whitefish recipe with Southeast Asian flavours. These are fish cakes, and I'm going to use some cod. Are you a fan of fish cakes, Tom?
Yeah, I love fish cakes.
Okay. Well, this great recipe is one that you very easily make at home, and it's all about these sort of fresh flavours. For January, I feel like we're kind of going towards the lighter, healthier.
Exactly.
Asian flavours work really well in that sense, as Ching would attest to. Absolutely. So we're going to make these fish cakes and serve it with a lovely kind of spiralised som tom salad. Are you a spiraliser fan?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes everything look really good.
Doesn't it? You've got all these noodles.
Yeah, it's easy to make it look really fancy.
I do sometimes think it's a bit of a faff, but, you know, you do end up with these quite cool little curls of veggies. Ribbons, exactly. Now, Tom, you have to talk to me about the cookbook.
Yes, I know.
Who knew Tom Daley would be releasing a cookbook?
I know, like lots of people have said that to me actually, but it all started from my YouTube channel last year.
Okay.
Like releasing fitness videos and then going on to do like food tips and like health and fitness hacks.
Right.
And then I've always been a massive fan of food, whether it was from when I was younger, going to my grandma and granddad's house and baking cakes, and then going on to learn about making soups, and then we made a pasta bake, me and my grandma, and actually my grandma's recipe for the pasta bake is in the book.
Oh, fantastic.
And so all those things, I've just always been around food and went to cookery school when I was 16.
Okay.
And so I think it's things that people don't necessarily know about me.
Yeah, the other side of Tom.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, I have to cook every day, so when I get home.
And you keep your clothes on for that.
Yes, most of the time, yeah. It's not many people can say that they wear more clothes to bed than they do to work.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know,
yeah, that's we won't go down there and try and think through the name or through the jobs.
Exactly.
But I mean, the wonderful thing about it is that it's really giving people an idea of the sort of things that you do to prepare. And you know, even if you're not an Olympic diver, it's really about giving people that kind of daily ritual, you know, that side of things. So tell me about the kind of diet element of it.
Yeah, I mean, because in January everybody wants to try and be on a diet, and I think diets. When you say the word diet, it automatically makes you think that you're going to fail a diet.
Right.
So all the recipes in the book are really easy. You can pick them up on your way home from work. All the ingredients are really easily accessible. You don't have to go to a specialist store or anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key, is to make it really quick and easy. And also the fact that what you're eating isn't a boiled piece of chicken and a steamed piece of broccoli. They're like easy things to eat and cook without any fun. And lots of them are also not much cleaning up to do afterwards as well, because lots of them are like one pan things. And and they're things that you can prepare in advance.
Now it's called Tom's Daily Plan, and there's not just recipes. So there's also talk about meditation, which I was quite interested, because I've been doing Headspace for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean that's another key aspect to a healthy lifestyle. It's not just looking after your physical well-being, but also your mental well-being.
Okay.
There's also like 20-minute home workouts that you don't need any equipment, you don't need a gym membership for.
Right.
So no excuse to do the exercise as well, because although it's very important to eat healthily, but having the whole mix of it all together is also key.
Okay, and I just have to do a little recap to talk you through what we put in here. We got our fish fillets, which we just sliced up. We've got that paste which we've made with garlic, ginger, a little bit of chili, and you've got the coriander, the roots, the stems of it, because there's lots of flavour in there as well. We're going to fry them off with a little bit of curry paste. We've got some fish sauce and some lime juice, and you'll notice I'm leaving this on for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Basically, when they make them in Thai street food, when they do these sorts of recipes, they pound the fish, and it actually changes the texture. So when you make your fish cakes, it actually holds together really well, because you've allowed it to kind of ball up like this. So don't be afraid of leaving it on and making a lot of noise in the kitchen.
Yeah, making a lot of noise.
It does make a lot
Neighbours
of noise.
won't be happy.
No, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. So I'm just going to take out the blade and we'll form up our little fish cakes. Now, there's a lot of training that goes into being an Olympian, and you started when you were only 14.
Yeah, well, I started diving itself when I was 7, and I got to my first Olympics when I just turned 14. So I'm basically like the granddad of diving by now, because I've been to 3 by now. So.
3 Olympics before, and you're only 22.
Yeah, 22
now. Incredible, it really
Don't
is.
put yourself down, Tom.
I think it's clear we have a fan in the Saturday Kitchen studio today. So I've just taken up these fish cakes. We're dipping them in a little bit of sesame seeds and then straight into some hot oil. Any oil will do. You just want something that's it's not a strong flavour. So rapeseed oil will do, sunflower oil.
Great.
And a good tip while you're making these is to dip your hands just in a little bit of cold water, as it'll allow you not to leave yourself in a dirty big mess.
Okay,
it's always handy. So in terms of training, you know, are you already back on the training regime?
Yeah,
are you
back into training. I had like a month off of training completely after the Olympics,
Okay.
and then I've been building in gradually. really into full-time training. And yeah, as of next week, or the week after next, I'm going to be back into 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. So it's a lot of training. And, you know, as soon as we finish one Olympics, the next thing is the next Olympics. So then you have to think for a whole another 4 years.
Okay.
You have to train 6 hours a day, 6 days a week for that one moment.
My goodness. And so, like, I mean, you're 22 now. So how long does a diver's career last
It
for?
depends on how their body holds out. So it's really about training smart and making sure you look after your body and not just try to fix the problems, but try and prevent them as well.
Okay.
So making sure that I'm eating the right things, making sure that I'm doing all the right exercises to prevent any injuries from occurring. So, but it really does depend. There's divers that have gone to 36. So, I mean, I could end up doing like 6 or 7 Olympics if I really looked after myself.
That's quite the career.
Wow.
That's quite the career.
I don't think I will go on that long, but you know, you never know.
And tell me, I mean, I often find, you know, like in moments where you really have to concentrate, it's such a scary feeling. I can only imagine if you're standing at the top of a diving board, what that feels like. So tell me, like, with the pressure of people watching like that, you know, how do you feel?
I mean, it's pretty intense. Like I said, you train for 4 years, like 6 hours a day, 6 days a week for that one moment.
Yeah.
You have 6 dives and you've got to perform those as well as you possibly can. And you don't get any second chances. There's no take 2. You just have to perform on that particular day. So I do lots of different things to try and prepare myself for that. And I do 10 minutes of meditation every single morning and like different mindfulness tips and ways to like deal with stress and anxiety going into competition. And I talk about that in the book, as well as all the different food recipes and the fitness stuff too.
Okay, and so, I mean, obviously you mentioned meditation is a big part of what your daily plan is. So like, what would you kind of say is your daily ritual? What would you, if you were January, New Year, New You, what is your morning routine?
Okay, well, morning routine is I'll get up in the morning. You know, first thing I do is have a glass of lemon water. Just, you know, start the metabolism. Good for your skin, good for energy, good for all of that. Especially with vitamin C going into like the winter to try and keep all the coughs and colds away. Then I do my 10 minutes of meditation. And then I go right into making breakfast. And I usually have some kind of protein and carb-based breakfast, usually something revolving around eggs.
Right.
And then I head off to training, start at 8:30, finish at 11. Then I will have some kind of snack after that, then go have lunch, then come back for training, 1:30 till 4. And then after that, I'd either do some kind of yoga class or a spin class, or we get massaged twice a week.
Oh, happy days.
Yeah, I know, it's great, right?
Sounds fantastic.
And then home in time to cook dinner, chill out and sleep and do the whole thing again the next day.
Right, and it's interesting that your training doesn't just involve that aspect of the diving board, basically.
No, like we do, 60% of my training is actually done dry land. So we do gymnastics, trampolining, weights, Pilates, ballet, all the kind of like...
Ballet?
Yeah, we do ballet as well. So it's just all the things that you can do to try and make yourself jump as high as you can, but also have the long lines and look as pretty as you can while you're doing it.
Okay, so it's all about grace and elegance and...
Graceful strength, and going into the water with as little splash is basically...
Okay. And it's interesting, actually, you should mention Splash, because it's a show that you were a big part of. You were the mentor for all those celebrities. Did you worry at any one point that they were going to make an absolute hames of it?
I mean, I know how much it hurts when it goes wrong.
Right.
Because if you land wrong when you're diving, you can split your skin, instant bruising.
Oh my goodness.
There's all kinds of... I've hit my head on the diving board twice.
God.
So it's kind of like all of it. Yeah, not to
even as a
put anyone off
professional,
food,
you end up with that sort of problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that happens, like the littlest thing can go wrong. If you blink at the wrong time, or if your foot slips, or you miss one of your spots when you're spinning around, then you can land very wrong.
Just
Tom,
absolutely terrifying.
How high is that board?
It's 10 metres, so like 33 feet.
And see, like when you're doing the Olympics now, obviously you've got the expectation of the country. Are you scared of the height, or are you nervous? You
forget about the height pretty quickly, because if anything, you want more height to be able to fit more in. So when you're up on the one thing that I say to myself is about being in the moment, not thinking about too far ahead in the future, or thinking about what's already gone, because you can't control any of that. All you can control is being in the moment and thinking about the process of the dive that you're about to do.
Wow.
And you don't want to stand up there, I need to get a 10. You have to think about what the process is in order to achieve that.
You're in the Zen zone.
Wow,
Be in
look
the
at
Zen zone. There you go. We've got beautiful fish cakes to get you in the Zen
goodness.
zone. And just to talk you through the salad, we've whisked up some fish sauce, some sugar and some lime juice. You toss it together with the coriander, a little bit of mint, some peanuts in there. Actually, we need to sprinkle a little bit more. And then you've got your fish cakes and a little bit of sweet chili sauce as dipping.
Wow.
So dig into that, Tom.
I'm going to try a bit of this.
And let me know what you think. So while Tom is tucking into that, we need to talk about what I'll be making for Tom at the end of the show. Is it going to be his food heaven, beef Wellington? First, I'll make a filling using porcini and chestnut mushrooms, thyme, brandy and cream. Then I'll sear some beef fillet steaks, brush them with a little bit of mustard and then wrap them in puff pastry and bake in the oven until golden brown and crisp. Or of course, it could be your food hell, a whole fish. I'm going to be making a baked trout in parchment paper with a mix of olive oil, fennel, onion, tomato, lemon, dill, capers and another one of your food hells, some celery. I'll fold the whole thing up in a parchment paper pouch and bring the whole trout to the table, serve it with some white wine. It is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Some green beans and potatoes on the side. So we are in for a treat, but we will have to wait until the end of the show. Will you both either sink or swim in this week's challenge? I am really sorry about this. You'll have to do more than dip your toe in.
Shocking.
And you'll need to dive in at the deep end. They're really that bad this week. To make the fastest edible omelette and make waves in the competition. Come on, Tom. And will Tom be getting his food heaven, beef Wellington, or will it be hell? It's going to be a whole trout. We'll find out at the end of the show. Right, it is on with the cooking. Mark, you're up next. So what are we cooking?
So
what are we making?
we're going to be doing, which you're going to be helping me with.
Yes.
A really simple baked brown sugar cheesecake.
Okay.
So, like most things, I mean, I find cooking very easy.
Yeah.
It's when you break the elements down and sort of just relax and don't stress over it.
It keeps it calm in the kitchen.
Yeah, and it's just easy. It's just, you know, it's just cooking. We're not saving lives, so it's.
Now
so
we're making this cheesecake is quite interesting because it has not salted caramel, a tomato caramel.
Tomato caramel, yeah.
It's quite interesting. These are the sorts of dessert we could expect in the restaurant.
Yeah, so this has been on the menu in one form or another. At the moment, we've got a chestnut cheesecake on.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just, you know, we buy a lot of fruit and vegetables from the farm.
Okay.
So, like most things when you buy them from the farm, it's either sort of a feast or a famine. So when we get tomatoes, we get cases upon cases of them.
Okay.
And you know, everybody loves salted caramel, so this is just a different version, really.
Yeah. And it's amazing. I've seen it in the picture, and it has that really rich red colour as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just takes the colour from the tomatoes. So, but as I said, this is the easiest cheesecake in the world.
Okay.
Everything goes in the blender.
Now you have a brand new book out, which is filled with beautiful desserts like this one. Are these the sorts of desserts that people can achieve at home, or are these kind of aspirational desserts?
No, they are, because the way that we've done the book is each element in the book has been broken down. So there's a recipe for the cheesecake.
Yeah.
And then there's a recipe for the tomato caramel, then there's a recipe for... So all the elements, it's almost like sort of recipe then method, recipe then method.
Okay.
So if you only want to do the cheesecake part of the dish, just do the cheesecake part.
Okay. So good little tips along the way, stuff that you can actually do at home. And I think, you know, what's lovely is that you have something as simple as this, but it's still quite impressive, you know. Like if you serve this up at a dinner party, people are going to be wowed by your tomato caramel, they're going to be interested in this base. It's a really interesting approach to food, and the sort of approach to food you have is that sort of seasonal, local sort of stuff. You know, you have a big Edinburgh following, I've heard.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky. Can you like this? Yeah, I'm very lucky. I mean, the restaurant's been open now 4 years. Yeah, it's been open 4 years now, so...
Right.
I mean,
so you're celebrating your 4th year now?
It's 4 years this month, actually. But it's gone by so quickly. I mean, it really has. It feels like we've been open 6 months.
Right.
So you just want to scrape this bowl down.
Okay.
Pop it back on.
Now, during rehearsal, Ching asked a very good question about... You weren't originally a pastry chef. You didn't train as one?
No, so up until the age of sort of 18, so I started cooking when I was 15.
Yeah.
I was like a normal chef.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if any chef's really normal, but I was a normal chef.
Is that the case?
And I was useless at pastry. Like, I couldn't, you know, I could do a creme brulee, I could make sticky toffee pudding, but that was kind of it.
Yeah.
And I just thought, you know, by the time that I'm a head chef one day, then I really need to know how to do everything, every section. So I just thought, you know, I need to learn it. So then I went on and studied patisserie and confectionery.
Right.
And then at 19, just put this in the oven.
Okay. At 19, you went and basically retrained?
Yeah, but then when I was 19, I won the Plated Restaurant Dessert of the Year for Britain.
Oh my goodness.
Which sounds...
At 19? He's nearly beating you, Tom.
Which sounds very... It sounds very glamorous. And then I thought, well, you know, I might as well train at this, so then I trained at it. And then everywhere I went, people would always put me on pastry.
Okay.
But I always sort of done savoury as well. But it was just...
Is your
something
passion more in pastry?
I mean, I love the creative side of it. So when, you know, I don't look at a lime and go, right, well, I could do key lime pie.
Yeah.
I look at a lime and go, how can we make... You know, the reason this is a brown sugar cheesecake is we really want to get those caramel flavours coming through, so it's not as sweet, because I find cheesecake sometimes can just be a little bit sweet and cloying. So, you know, this way, the brown sugar just gives it that sort of caramel note.
Lovely, yeah. And so just to recap, we've made this base, which I find very interesting and quite excited about it. It's got chopped hazelnuts in there, it's got chocolate, it's got, what was that little crispy thing we were talking about?
Fouilletine, so it's got fouilletine in it as well, which is almost like smashed up biscuits.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, you can just use cornflakes or anything like that. It's just the crunch that you're after.
Yeah. So we flattened this down through two pieces of parchment. This goes into the fridge to set. Now, you've been making up caramel. You also have your cheesecake base. And this is basically the form of your
tomato caramel. So there's two basic types of caramel. So there's a wet caramel and a dry caramel.
Okay.
And anything that you want... So if you were doing sugar work or anything like that, you would use the water-based caramel because you want that nice golden colour. Whereas with this, you want like a real sort of deep, sort of caramelised flavour. Okay. So we're doing a dry caramel. Right. And it just means you can take it so much further before it burns.
Okay. So, I mean, people are a little bit nervous about caramel and burning it, and, you know, it's something that you do have to keep your eye on, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just... I mean, cooking in general... You know, when you break the elements down, it's quite simple. I mean, you know, there's also a lot of... I mean, you mentioned earlier that I'm stirring the caramel. I thought you couldn't stir caramel. I thought you weren't allowed to do that. But you can. If this was a wet caramel, no. But a dry caramel, you can stir it, you can shake it.
Because if you have the water in there, of course, it can crystallise, and then it ruins the whole thing.
Yeah, and I think, especially if you're doing this at home, you know, if you burn the sugar, just do another one. I mean, it's not the end of the world,
and they're not the most expensive ingredients to ruin if you do.
And it just, you know, it's just practice, practice, practice. And I think cooking in general is more about sort of confidence. You know, if you're confident in what you're doing, and you can break the elements down, then it's quite simple, really.
And just talk me through the cheesecake itself. The mix is basically, is it cream cheese?
Yeah, so it's cream cheese, brown sugar, eggs, touch of flour just to hold it.
It's amazing.
A little bit of cream, and then in the oven without the base. So when that comes out the oven, we'll then put the base on the top, and then turn the whole thing upside down.
So it's little chefy tricks, but stuff you could definitely do at home.
Yeah, and it means, you know, the base has just got all those nuts in it, so it's sort of, it's just something, again, it's just something a little bit different.
Mark, is this recipe in the book?
Yeah, so this is the recipe, but with some seasonal changes. So in the book, it goes with a bramble sorbet, fresh brambles. So at the moment, we're doing roasted pear and pear sorbet.
Beautiful.
And you've just won a massive award for the book, haven't you?
For the book, yeah. So we've just picked up National Book of the Year for the Gourmet Awards, and now goes over to China, where in May it will compete to be the best cookbook in the world.
Amazing.
Which is insane. That's just...
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's not... You know, when you're so close to a project, you don't really see it. Because you spend every waking hour, you know, creating it.
So, once you've made your caramel like this and it's come down, you add your tomatoes in, and you do have one that's ready to go. And you get this really rich red colour, which I was quite fascinated by.
So you know, when the tomatoes go in, the water then just gets drawn out of the tomatoes, and it takes on all that amazing red, vibrant sort of colour.
So we have our finished cheesecake, which is looking quite beautiful at this point, and it's all about the chefy little touches. Tom and Ching are getting very excited over there right now.
So
this bakes in the oven for how long, did you say?
So now this is where it's really up to you. So we put it in the oven for 10 minutes, and then we turn it down, and then we leave it in the oven for 20 minutes, and then we turn the oven off.
Completely off, and you
completely
let it sit.
Off.
Door open.
Door open. So door open. So put a wooden spoon in the door.
And
you can either leave it in for about an hour and a half. But if you like your cheesecakes a little bit drier, then you can leave it in for a couple hours.
Okay,
so it's really up
perfect.
to you. This one was left in for about an hour and a half.
Okay, great. Well, we've had time now, so we're going to serve it up and get it going on. I'm going to caramelise these lovely little bits of pear for you. It's quite a chefy dish, isn't it? But it's something you can do. Oh goodness, this has gone out on me as I try and set the studio on fire. It's all going to go well. Everyone just look away for a moment now.
Well, we're coming to the year of the fire rooster. So.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's one of those great moments where you set. There we go, we're in business. It's all grand. It's all grand. So we're just kind of caramelising up these pears, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, James.
So this tomato caramel is ready. The caramel's ready now. So the tomatoes go in.
Perfect. So would you serve up that cheesecake for me, Mark? We've got the caramel ready to go, and it's in a little bottle. We've got our pears beautifully caramelising up here as well, and you have this pear sorbet as well. So there's quite a lot of textures and flavours going on here.
Yeah, I mean that's we're looking for different textures, different flavours. So that just
all
goes
about
on.
bringing it together. And basically, once you have all these elements, you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah.
It's something that you can have ready to rock.
It's one of these dishes that can really be done sort of as much in advance as you like.
So tell me, with the caramel, you've basically melted down that sugar.
Yeah.
You've added, once it's gone nice and golden brown, you've added in your tomatoes, you've blitzed it up.
Yep.
Lovely.
And then
fantastic.
Yeah, then we just blitz up.
Okay. We've got the pear sorbet. We've got our lovely bits of chocolate as well, which are going to go on the side.
So this is just more of the base.
Yeah.
So
looks fantastic. And actually, this chocolate mixture is just wonderful. It kind of tastes a little bit like a chocolate hazelnut spread, if you know what I mean.
Sorbet just goes on.
You can, of course, too, yes. So we've got a little bit of pear sorbet. It looks absolutely spectacular. Now, if you'd like to try Mark or any of our other studio recipes, then visit our website, bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. That is a plate that is beautiful. What are we looking at?
So this is the baked brown sugar cheesecake with tomato caramel, pear sorbet and roasted pears.
Oh, epic, epic. Right, I know we need to bring this over pretty quick. The spoons are at the ready.
Yes. We were ready when you said cheesecake.
I could imagine all of a sudden
I brought extra
you were
caramel.
willing us to bring it out.
So is it actually going to taste like a tomato? Can I just try it
try
on its own? Because I'm like...
So what do you think? Tomato
It's delicious.
caramel?
Like you wouldn't actually think, you would never know that was like tomato unless you were like told that it was tomato. But it's so good.
Lovely sweetness. You guys tuck into that,
try it.
and we'll go back to Bury St Edmunds to find out which wine Ollie Smith has chosen to go with Mark's marvellous cheesecake. Ollie, that is a fantastic match. There's a lovely fruitiness to it that kind of matches in with the tomato in there.
Almost sort of orangey, which just comes through. So that's I love it. It's
Would
great.
you serve that alongside the dessert?
Yeah, it goes amazingly well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, not that I've had much of it, but
You've been sitting too far away from it, Mark, and you've also had stiff competition from Ching and Tom. You've pretty much desiccated.
Just a little try.
Decimated it. It's an impressive attempt, guys. I'm very impressed. It's now time to catch up. First up, it's Alan from Glasgow. Alan, what's your question?
Hi, Donald. How are you doing?
How are you?
Loving the show. This is one for Ching. My wife is vegetarian, and we're just looking for a nice vegetarian noodle dish that she could perhaps try.
Yeah, sure. Hi, Alan. So what you can do is the General Tso's chicken that I did before with chicken, you could do that with tofu. So you could get firm tofu and marinate it in some 5-spice Chinese rice wine, some soy sauce, and then just stick it in the oven, bake it, for about 15 minutes, 180, and then just slice it up, chop it up into chunks, and then just toss it into the stir fry, but preferably at the end with the peppers, because it's kind of soft. So it'll take no time to cook.
Lovely. Alan, does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thanks very much.
Good on you. And I have to ask you which you'd like to see, heaven or hell for Tom?
Definitely food heaven. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Beef Wellington, you can't go wrong. He's kind to you, absolutely. So, Tom, you've got a couple of tweets for us.
Yes, I do. I've got one from Mary saying, good morning. Any ideas what to do with leftover Christmas cake?
Oh, leftover Christmas cake. You can't go wrong. Who has leftover Christmas cake at this stage?
Why is it leftover?
no, well, I would say even something like a bread and butter pudding.
Yeah.
So just take the bread out or do half bread, half Christmas cake.
Yeah.
Just because it's got all those spices and sultanas and it's already got everything in it.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's
And actually, I like if you crumble Christmas cake like that, like you would for brown bread ice cream, caramelise it under the grill, and you get it in with some ice cream, and it's absolutely
and just fold it through.
Fold it through, exactly.
Awesome,
we've got another tweet.
Yes, one from John saying, could you recommend a healthy Asian-style burger using any meats and ingredients?
Oh, okay. You could do a slider, like an American slider, but with maybe some brioche buns. Something light and healthy. I'd always go for minced pork as a choice, but lean minced pork, so 90% lean meat, and then 10% fatty meat. You do want a little bit of texture in a burger. And then make the general sauce, basically put it in a bowl, mix it with some corn flour, soy sauce, a little bit of potato starch, and then that will help bind it together with some egg. And then you can bake that in the oven, or you could just fry it in a pan until then nice and golden, and then the sauce over the top.
Grand. Yeah. Great. Sounds awesome. Great. So let's go back to the phones. Our next caller is Claire from Glasgow. What's your question, Claire?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I've got some duck breasts in the freezer and I want some ideas of what to make with them.
You sound like you could be related to our friend here. Where are you from? Glasgow, okay. So which dish... sorry, we'll ask that question for you.
I mean, really, really simple. So if you score the duck skin, so defrost them, score the duck skin, cold pan, and then bring it up nice and hot. And what that'll do is draw out all the fat from the skin. It'll give you a really crispy skin. Turn it over, about 6 minutes in the oven, and then when it comes out, some lovely, lovely honey. And maybe a little bit of butter, some salt.
Beautiful, it sounds great. Now, which dish would you like to see, heaven or hell?
Heaven.
Heaven, you're in for a winner, fantastic. Yes. And Tony from Wrexham, what would you like to ask?
Hi, good morning, Donald.
Good morning.
What it is, I'm looking for a healthy breakfast that can be eaten on the go, and that'll keep me going until lunchtime.
Oh, I have a great one. I've baked oatmeal, and basically you make it, it's kind of like an oatmeal muffin, but it's much thicker, and you can serve it with yogurt if you want, or just take them as they go, and they're absolutely gorgeous, really simple, and with a few fresh berries, some honey, some yogurt. Any healthy breakfasts over here?
Yeah, I mean, I like bircher muesli. Yeah. So you take your oats and then you soak them in your orange juice, your apple juice, grated apple.
Lovely.
You spice it up with some cinnamon if you want.
Yeah.
Leave it overnight. Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, and Tom, I'm sure you have plenty of healthy
recipes.
I
mean, you can get some, like, for example, some, like, lean bacon, wrap it into, like, a muffin tin, and then crack an egg into it and bake them in the oven. Ooh. You've got little baked breakfast muffins to take with you on the road.
There you go, sounds fantastic. Which dish would you like to see, food heaven or food hell?
Sorry, Tom, it's got to be hell.
Oh, there's always one.
Yeah, there is always one. Right, guys, it is time for the omelette challenge. Ching, you are on 27 seconds, and Mark, this is your first attempt. Yes. So can you go quicker than Ching?
Well, I've got a lot of tips from Twitter and Facebook.
Okay, come on down, get set up, get yourselves all ready to go. And you both know the rules. You must use 3 eggs. There's rules? Whoa. Use 3 eggs. Feel free to use anything from the ingredients in front of you to make them as tasty as possible. The clocks stop when your omelette hits the plates, and please let us put the clocks on the screen for everyone at home, please. So are you both ready?
Yep.
Feeling confident?
No.
You look very nervous.
Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go! Are you looking for Olympic standards here, Tom?
Oh, this is, like, really intense. Like, I didn't know that, they've got a whip. They could get the eggs together and everything. Yeah. Like, what are they even going to do?
And you have to not scramble your eggs as well. You want a lovely omelette. Tom, you look very stressed during this.
I think it's the music. It makes me on edge.
It's the tension music.
I know. Like, how do they get, like, an omelette that's going to...
There's some serious omelette action over here. Ching's looking good. Mark? Okay, Ching, I think, has managed to get half her omelette on the floor. Guys behind the cameras, just calm yourselves. I hope you didn't get any there.
Sorry.
Let's try and dig in.
I did it a bit aggressively.
It all got very competitive there near the end. I think I shouldn't have been commentating on it. All right, let's try this one. This looks
that's definitely an omelette.
That's an omelette.
That's definitely an omelette.
Good seasoning.
Thank you.
Good seasoning, lovely saltiness. Ching, half yours is on the floor over there.
So
I'll take some that's actually cooked.
It went flying, it went diving.
Yeah, they went on the side.
Interesting, okay. He's got the seasoning down, Ching. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see.
No.
Let's find out the times. Okay, so the good news is, Mark, you are on the board. You made the board.
That's good news.
And you made it with a time of 26.84, which puts you somewhere around here. I'll fit you in there. Okay? And Ching, are you feeling confident?
No.
Unfortunately, You did not beat your time. Sorry, I get really stressed in this moment. You're in the bin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No.
So head in the bin. Apologies in honour of Tom. Little bit delayed there, but we got there. We got there. Now, will Tom get to face his food heaven, beef Wellington, or food hell, whole fish? We'll find out which one is right. It is time to find out whether this Tom is getting his food heaven or food hell. Now, for your food heaven, we have the most beautiful fillet of beef, which we're going to brush and sear with a little bit of mustard. We're going to wrap it in some puff pastry. Basically bake it till it's absolutely gorgeous with some mushroom duxelle. It's going to be gorgeous. So that is if you get it, of course. We also have a food hell to face, which is your whole baked trout with a lot of veggies that I know you don't like. Fennel, celery, a whole load of different things.
Yes.
We're going to bake it in a parchment pouch. We're going to add a little bit of white wine, some lemon juice, and serve it up with some potatoes and green beans.
I'm sure it'll be delicious.
It would be delicious. It would be delicious. But we do know that the callers went 3-1. So it is down to our chefs in the studio, and they've been whispering in my ear to let me know that we are going to go with food heaven.
Yes.
So you're in for a win. Fantastic. So we're going to get rid of our hell dish. You don't even need to look at it, Tom, okay? And we're going to crack on with our wonderful beef Wellington. We're actually going to do an individual beef Wellington. Okay. And the reason I do this, because normally you make it as a big, big log kind of thing going on. I don't know if that's the best description of a big log. Anyway, either way, you're going to get this beautiful individual beef Wellington, and if you want to make this for a crowd, the great thing is that you can just adjust the time, so you can have a pink meat in the centre. You can have a more well done cut, so it's handy in that way. The guys are making up our mushroom filling. Mark, you're doing it with some lovely mushrooms there. What have we got? So
we're going to be doing mushroom duxelle. So we've got some Swiss brown mushrooms, we've got dehydrated porcinis, and then Ching's just doing some diced shallots, so we're just going to blend these up and then sweat them down into a duxelle.
And alongside this, we've got some lovely steamed brie. We've got a big Savoy cabbage to go in there as well. So what is it about beef Wellington? What gets you so excited about it?
I don't know. I think it's because I'm so patriotic. Like, if you look at anything about me in my home, we've got Union Jack everywhere.
I have noticed this.
Yeah, like
it's
even my sofa is Union Jack.
Okay.
So like anything British, I just love. And
is that your sofa that's on the front cover of the book then?
Yeah,
with
exactly.
the big Union Jack flag. That's in your house.
Yeah, that's it. It was all shot at home with a big Union Jack sofa at home. So. Right. But yeah, no beef Wellington in the book though.
No beef Wellington.
Maybe the next time beef Wellington.
Well, maybe you'll be inspired by your Saturday kitchen experience.
No, it's true.
It is one of those just classic dishes, and it really is a rewarding kind of dish to make because it's quite simple. If you have a good quality cut of meat, you've got all these extra ingredients that just add the flavour. So I'm literally searing this just until I have a nice golden colour on all sides, and then I'm going to wrap it in pastry. We've got our mushrooms going on there with some butter.
Great.
It's starting to smell pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's smelling really good.
How do you normally have your beef cooked?
Medium rare, usually.
Oh, nice.
Right. Is that good? Bad? Like, I always feel nervous saying that to a chef. Like, how do you have your steak cooked? But yeah, medium rare.
Oh, nice.
Is that like a?
No, that's perfect. That's how you should have it.
Okay, good.
And the good thing,
I like to hear that.
And the good thing with Wellington is if people like it cooked differently, just leave theirs in for longer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's, the great thing with the individual side of it. Now, Tom, you have to tell me, how did you find the confidence to start diving at such a young age? How did it kind of come about?
I didn't necessarily have the confidence at the start. I started swimming from the age of about 4, just for water safety, because I lived in Plymouth, and I saw people diving, thought I'd give it a go, and for the first, few years, I was absolutely terrified of doing it. And I still get scared when I'm up there now. It's not something that just goes away, because it's human nature to be scared when you're stood 10 metres up looking down onto a diving pool.
Really? So you haven't, it's still a genuine
you get used to it, but you still get the adrenaline rush every day. And I think as soon as that adrenaline rush goes and you get too comfortable with it, that's when you start making mistakes. Okay. So it's good to have that nerve to keep you sharp. And...
Oh, here we go. Now we're cooking.
So look at that. So what's going on?
That was just a little bit of brandy.
Okay.
And then a little splash of cream, not too much.
And then we're just brandy in there just makes all the difference, doesn't it? It matches well with that.
It really does, and with the beef, and it's just a great addition.
Yeah. So we've got some puff pastry rolled out here, and you can use the ready to roll stuff, or just roll it out with a little bit of flour. It makes all the difference. We're going to basically sandwich this together with our cooled mushroom mixture. Oh, before I make an absolute mess of it, just ignore that. We have some mushroom that has cooled beautifully, and this is now going to be spread on the puff pastry. Excellent. One thing when you are making this is it's really important to have cold puff pastry, because if it heats up at any stage, you're just going to be left with absolute mush. Exactly. Okay. So spread a little bit of that duxelle just in the centre of your pastry here, and you want to be a little bit generous with it, because you do want this kind of that lovely layer of it. You've got all the great flavours, the mushrooms, the cream, the brandy, the thyme, and you know it just comes together with that beef so beautifully.
Lovely.
So that gets popped on top here.
Oh, wow.
We've brushed it with a little bit of the mustard over the sides, and that will give you that lovely kind of peppery bite. So do you feel like this is something you could do at home?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we could. It's quite a nice little dinner party, because you can prepare it all in advance and then just like bang it in the oven.
Yeah,
looks good.
And this is I often think beef Wellington is the kind of thing you see at weddings, and you are getting married this year.
Yes.
Am I right in thinking that?
Yes, getting
When's
married.
the big day?
We haven't got the big day sorted yet.
Okay.
You know, keeping it all under wraps for now, air of mystery. But it's but yeah, no, it's really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It's been
Never too
fun.
late to change your mind.
Okay.
Ching, I think that moment's passed. You might want to break it to Ching.
If you cook me the general Sal's chicken, that'd be good. You know.
There you go, Ching. There you go.
Okay, you've made up for it.
My goodness, that's quite the offer of a Saturday morning.
Great Saturday morning offer.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I'm just brushing this with a little bit of beaten egg.
Okay.
And then we're going to transfer over our puff pastry just to finish this off. And basically, you're kind of sandwiching the whole thing together. You want to give that little bit of egg wash just to make sure that you get a nice seal on it. And then do try, and just using the edges of your hand, just bring in that puff pastry around it. We're going to finish it off just by slicing off any of that excess. Now, if you're making more than this, do not use. You can make use more of the puff pastry. We're just going to get rid of that for now. This goes into the oven. It's going to cook off, and it's really just until your pastry goes nice and brown. You can leave it in a little bit longer if you want a more well-done steak, but it's up to you. We're going to finish it off with a little bit of egg wash, which will make all the difference when it comes to the colour, because it just gives you that lovely golden brown finish. It does come out. I'll show you now. It looks absolutely beautiful. Guys, how is that? We've got greens and we've got lovely things to come alongside this.
Yes.
We're ready to go.
Ready?
Fantastic.
Wow.
So this is now going to go into the oven. I forgot how I'm going to do this, so it's going to go like that. Brilliant. Now, into the oven we go. Thanks very much. And we're going to serve this up. We have ones that we have good to go. And you can see when this comes out of the oven, you end up with an epic-looking beef Wellington. I mean, that looks
so
pretty stunning. You know, and you could decorate it over the top. It's totally up to you. But this is, you know, it's a real showstopper.
Yeah, right.
Dinner party dish. And again, you have loads of individual ones. You can serve them up and prepare them all in advance. Actually, I'm going to slice this in half so you can see what it looks inside, because it does look pretty spectacular when you open it up.
Great.
It is one of those dishes that just instant comfort food. Like it's, you know, people get pretty excited when it comes to beef Wellington. And when you slice in the centre, it's what it's all about. You want to get some of that mushroom.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Oh, beautiful, so beautiful. We have a little bit of gravy, a bit of jus to go over the sides, and we have some steamed greens, which are just going to go here.
Excellent.
That's a proper portion.
That is, isn't it?
That's a real hearty portion, isn't it? Yeah.
You'd be happy with that. Ching, would you spoon that over?
Yes.
And we're going to serve this up. And Tom, the good news is you get to dig in now.
Yes.
So we grab some of that cutlery to give you a go.
I'm very excited about this.
It is the kind of thing that I think everyone's pretty happy with when you serve it to the table.
Yes.
Lovely jus over the top. I mean, that is
That is
instant
beautiful.
satisfaction.
Yum.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to grab a wine. You guys tuck into that while it's still... Oh, you got the wine. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, we've got a beautiful wine to go with this. I has chosen for us a Bodeguer Volcanes Combinaire, and it's 2014 and from $7.99 in Majestic. Guys, we need to ask... Tom, how do you feel about this beef Wellington? All of a sudden he's just gone completely silent and he's very excited about it.
That is, like, it's delicious. It's like one of the best things I'm going to like just carry on.
But is your food heaven? We can see it.
Yeah, it definitely is my food heaven, and like, yeah, it's just, I mean, beef Wellington is just so. I just gotta have some more. Have some more.
And is that cooked to your liking now, Tom?
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Yeah. It's delicious.
Because the interesting thing with that individual style is that you can add it, you can leave them in the oven a little bit longer if you want it more well done.
Yes.
You can basically cater the whole dinner party if you want to.
You even like write people's names on top with the egg wash.
Yeah.
Like we just like put like an initial.
Those little extra touches.
Then why didn't you do that?
I'm sorry.
It's just not good enough.
Thinking of everything.
There's a tea.
Fantastic, fantastic. Do you like the wine with it? Have you got a chance to taste the wine?
I haven't tried the wine.
Oh, it's a lovely, rich red. Really good body. And actually, with beef like that, you want something that's strong.
I'm not a wine person. I'd never really know anything about wine or tried it because I don't really drink. But I mean, it smells.
Maybe this morning, Tom, that could all change.
Yeah, maybe.
Not too late to give it a go.
Okay, guys, well, that's all from us today on Saturday Kitchen Live. Thanks to our fantastic studio chefs, Mark Greenaway and Ching-Hee Wang, the delightful Tom Daley and Ollie Smith for his brilliant wine choices. He's busy tucking in. All the recipes from the show are on the website bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. Next week, it is Michelle Roux Jr.'s turn to host, and I'm back next month. But don't forget Best Bites tomorrow morning at 9:55 on BBC Two. It's goodbye for now. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's done.
Thank you.
Nice.